Good morning. It's March the 25th, I think, Wednesday, and I wanted to share a quick story with you about something that happened when I was rector of Holy Trinity Church in Bridgewater. The Archbishop was on an itinerary in Bridgewater. He was going to come down and make visits to the local parishes, and I had him during the week, and we decided to go to an evening prayer service at the local nursing home. This was something we did regularly in Bridgewater. The choir and myself would do an evening prayer service. That'd be followed by some entertainment from choir members, maybe singing some of the favorite hymns out of the little hymnal that we had there, and and then I would greet everyone, and we would then depart. Like I said, it happened regularly, maybe 4 times a year we would do this, and it was really a wonderful experience. Anyway, on this particular occasion, I brought the bishop with me, and he was going to preach. And we had this common area, and in the common area there were some birds in a cage, a large cage. And as the Archbishop was speaking um, during the little homily that we included in the service, the birds started making noise, and a lot of noise. And as the Archbishop went on, so too the birds went on and got louder and louder until we got to the point where he really couldn't speak anymore. Nobody could hear him. The birds were just being too loud. And so I went on with the service. I got up and announced the next hymn, which happened to be In the Garden. Um, he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me that I am his own. That's was a very popular song to be sung at these services. And you had this room full of people who were, wheeled in beds and wheelchairs, and some of the people made it over from the residents. But mostly, there wasn't a lot of energy in the room, but it was packed. And when we got to the second or third verse of that hymn, everybody started laughing because the line is, um, he speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet that the birds hush their singing. And everybody started to laugh. And I have to say that the person laughing the loudest was the Archbishop. He saw the humor in this, and he received it with tremendous grace. A lot of people don't believe that story. They think that I got it out of a Reader's Digest magazine or something like that, but it's actually word for word true. It happened just like that. At the end of the service, I went around to greet the people that had been there, and so I'm sort of going from chair to chair and saying hello to people and wishing them well for that evening. Um, and I came to one woman, a woman I knew well, and she was a member of our parish, and I'm thanking her for coming and offer her a blessing, and then I move on to the next person. And as I'm doing that, I hear her say to her attendant, the person that had brought her out to the service, "My God, he's ugly." Um, I know what you're thinking, she must have been, had difficulty seeing or something like that. How could she possibly think that about me? At that moment, I thought maybe her cataracts were very, very bad or something. I often tell that story just to kind of illustrate that clergy sometimes need to have a thick skin and not to take these things personally, because anything can happen. You can have birds chirping in the middle of a sermon. You can have little old ladies being tremendously honest with you about your looks. Um, but I share that story with you now because I miss those kinds of interactions. This social isolation isn't natural for us. And I look forward to the time when we can be back together in worship. And you can say those things to me. I don't care anymore. I'd love to hear someone look at me and say, "Oh my God, you're ugly." That's okay as far as far as I'm concerned. I think that'd be kind of funny, actually. Um, in the summertime when we have lots of visitors, for them to overhear parishioners looking at me and say, "Oh boy, you're ugly." and they'll go home and tell their friends, yeah, I mean, it was a great place to be, but everyone kept telling the minister he was ugly. I mean, it might be true, but still, should they be saying that? In any event, I do look forward to the time when we can gather again in the building of St. Paul's Church and worship together and greet one another. So for the rest of today, I wish all of you every blessing. Amen.